Hi everyone, Miss Gauss here. Yesterday you talked about the scientific method and its steps. So there are just a couple of things that I want to review with you. First of all, so please take notes. So get out a piece of paper, please, and take notes as we go through this. First of all, the independent variable. That's the variable that the experimenter controls or manipulates. And also, if ever you were to plot data on a graph, your independent variable would go on the x-axis. Just a quick review of a graph. The horizontal axis is the x-axis, and the vertical axis is the y-axis. So your independent variable would go on the horizontal axis. Okay. Your dependent variable is the data that you collect. D for dependent variable. The dependent variable depends on the independent variable and responds to changes in the independent variable. Let me give you guys an example. If, for example, we want to determine which type of fertilizer works best, so which type of fertilizer causes plants to grow the best, we would set up an experiment as follows. Okay, so this will just be a very simple experiment. We'll have 3 pots with 3 types of fertilizer. Let's say we want to taste fertilizer A, fertilizer B, and fertilizer C. The type of fertilizer would be the independent variable because that's what the experimenter, or me in this case, this is what I control. I decide what fertilizer I want to taste. And the amount of plant growth, or how well the plants grow, that depends on the type of fertilizer. Therefore, the plant growth would be the dependent variable. So if we plant our plants in pots and taste the different types of fertilizer, and each week we measure how high the plant has grown, and after 3 weeks we see, well, plant C is the tallest, we can conclude that fertilizer C has the greatest effect on plant growth. Now, there are a couple of other things that you need to take in consideration as well. Those are your constants and your control. Your constants and your control. Your constants is that's everything that stays the same. So, for example, we would have had to use the same type of potting soil, the same type of plant, the same amount of water, the same amount of sunlight, etc., so that everything else is the same except the type of fertilizer that the plants receive. So everything that's held the same or held constant would be your constants. So we said the potting soil, for example, amount of water, or H2O, amount of sunlight, all those factors would have to remain constant. Now our control, that is the basis for comparison. Basis for comparison. Okay. In order for us to really determine which fertilizer works the best, we need to see how plants grow without any fertilizer. So, if we were to plant another plant in a 4th pot that doesn't receive any fertilizer, so no fertilizer for this one, this pot would be our control. So we would be able to determine how well the fertilizers work on plants in comparison to a plant that receives no fertilizer. So now you guys will be working on the Simpsons worksheet, and it's a worksheet labeled output, but Miss Rollins will hand those to you.